Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here. It's the last Fan Fridays for the week. Only bringing guys 3 Fan Fridays this week because we had the Mimikyu news earlier today, and YouTube's algorithm is pretty messy when we start messing around with stuff like that. So let's go into this battle with a Feral. I just like Andy's team. Like, that's just a brutal, hardcore, awesome team. Like, the Buzzwole can be a ridiculously impossible Pokemon to kill. Then we have the Aegis Slash, which is just good, and then topping off with the Feraligatr. I've been wanting to see Feraligatr everywhere since it got its ability. Like, Feraligatr already seemed like a good Pokemon. Dragon Dance, one of the best moves in the game. Feraligatr gets it, so why don't we see it a lot? And then it gets Sheer Force. So once you get that outspeed, it's just over for the opponent. Way too much damage to deal with. Let's see how Feraligatr versus Primeape plays out. Now that's going to be U-turn from Primeape. Okay, just doesn't want to deal with the Feraligatr. However, that's still going to give it like free stuff. You know, just free setup. Then goes into the Heracross. I mean, yeah, like one Dragon Dance Sheer Force. I don't know what happens after that except for just destruction. How can you stop it? Because the cool thing about Sheer Force is it also lets you run the Life Orb, not take the recoil damage, boost on top of boost on top of boost with that waterfall, and at the +1, Heracross just gets straight one shot. And I think that's actually going to be the rest of the battle. You know, especially on battle spot. Why don't we see more of the Feraligatr on the battle spot? Because okay, Primeape. Scarfed, it looks like, still getting the outspeed. Not enough to KO the Feraligatr in the end. That's just going to make Primeape a bit more squishy. So maybe that's it, you know. Maybe even with the Dragon Dance, Feraligatr speed just doesn't have enough, but you want it. You want it to work so bad because it's such a good move. And Crocodile comes in. So that's going to be Feraligatr matchup against Crocodile, and the opponent forfeits because that's just way too much more damage. See, the battle spot, 3v3 environment, you know, Feraligatr has a good chance of getting something. And if you're going against setup Pokemon, that also works, but at the same time, you get burned, you get paralyzed, and then the strat kind of falls apart. So it's interesting that way. Let's go check out some more battles. Actually, after going a little deeper on the numbers, why isn't everyone running Feraligatr? Because it still has 78 on that base speed, and it doesn't have to worry about running an Adamant Nature because it's already getting so much boosting from the Sheer Force, from the Life Orb. As you can see right here, it just one-shots the Mewtwo. So we have Mega Mewtwo Y. It both outspeeds at +1, then gets a one-hit KO, while also not being one-hit KO'd in return. So that means Mewtwo just shows up, hits you with a Side Strike, not enough to KO because I mean, we got decent bulk right here. Like, I was wondering, like, what happens if Feraligatr loses a bit more on special attack, it's a bit more bulky, gets something? It doesn't need that. Like, it has enough to just survive most neutral hits, use that as your opportunity to set up, and then you just revenge everything, or not even revenge, just turn around and one-shot everything with that waterfall. So, yeah, just, actually, this isn't even at the +1. So, +1 is even more devastating. You don't even need a +1 to KO the Mewtwo Y. Feraligatr does some crazy damage. Yeah, I was, like, looking 78 base speed. That definitely does all that needs to because that outspeeds the 140 base speed Pokemon. So let's go into the next battle, see how this one plays out. Oh, Leavanny, beware. Fancy. I'm wondering if that's going to be a Mega Alakazam. Yes, no, kinda. It's interesting to break down. And then also, how would you respond to the Arcanine? Because in theory, well, it doesn't really matter because, like, in theory, Arcanine, if it's a defensive invested Arcanine, you can just go and outspeed it since you're a Jolly Nature with investment. So Waterfall one-shots the Arcanine immediately. Intimidate might get in the way of that, though. And then Feraligatr, after what we just saw with those damage, yeah, see, we had the outspeed. So after what we saw with those damage calculations, you know, that +0 attack isn't the worst thing. And then the idea is, do you try to tank the Wild Charge? Because it looks like Feraligatr can tank the Wild Charge from the Arcanine pretty well, but that's tank Arcanine, as we kind of showed. No Life Orb, nothing fancy like that. So yeah, Arcanine's trying to calm down some damage, not enough, and then Feraligatr comes in with that Waterfall, and that's going to be a KO. So like I said, I was going to wonder, like, do you just try to remove the Arcanine as soon as possible, and then go into the Alakazam? But if it's Mega Alakazam, you get outsped at +1 anyway, because that's a 150 base speed Pokemon, and we can't deal with that. So Feraligatr also has the Crunch. I mean, the coverage on the Feraligatr gets you through most threats. That if Waterfall isn't neutral, then you still have Ice Punch and then the Crunch, and all of that is going to get crazy amounts of boosting. So that's going to be shiny on the Alakazam, and it's going to be the Mega Alakazam. So now we're going to see if the opponent has the need for speed or if it's a modest nature. Because, like, modest Mega Alakazam, it does risk you a lot of matchups, but it does give you that little bit of extra damage. Because, like, you could just survive. Ooh. Ooh, that's a threat. That's not something you want to be dealing with. The Sheer Force Alakazam? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you just get outsped, and now Alakazam needs that. Like, that's what Mega Alakazam needs. It's, like, lacking in damage by about 30%. So, Psychic comes in, but I'm guessing this is Focus Sash Leavanny. Good response, hit with a Bug-type move, and then the Alakazam is just going to crumble. So, that could have been bad. Like, that's Alakazam winning the battle if there was not a Focus Sash in play. So yeah, that's one of the things, like, we don't see Mega Alakazam everywhere because it gives up the Life Orb for more speed and not Life Orb amounts of damage. And even then, regular Alakazam, it isn't one-shotting things left and right. It has good amounts of special attack, but doesn't have the base power to back it up. So when we see the Sheer Force, that could have been something else. And now we have a 6v6 battle, so that's going to make things a bit more interesting. So we have the outspeed and just the dunk on Tapu Koko. All you have to do is just survive, get that set up, and then really it's going to be hard for anything to respond to. So let's go and watch how this one plays out. So yeah, I was wondering, like, yeah, these 3v3 battle spot battles, they're going by just a little too quick for me. So we're going to see what happens with the 6v6, and then we get to see the name, Gatorade. That's a cool Feraligatr. See, that's another perk to running the Feraligatr. You can name it Gatorade, which is now stealing from this fan, which is a little, you know, now it's not the cool Gatorade name anymore. Just keep going. You can run nicknames as well. That's another cool perk of good Pokemon. So we have the Dragon Dance on the Feraligatr, and what is Ho-Oh going to do? Ho-Oh can, like, Sacred Fire and then maybe get the KO. That's a fancy little bit of tech on that punishment, but it doesn't do absurd amounts of damage. But looks like the opponent knew what was going to happen right there, and then decides to go into the Tapu Koko. It's too late. There's nothing you can do about that. So Tapu Koko is going to get the Electric Terrain. That's going to be the Waterfall from the Feraligatr in response, and dead. So I guess at least maybe just switching it in, getting the Electric Terrain, and then using that for the boost on the Raichu. So that's actually pretty good. The opponent's playing on a pretty solid level right now. So, oh, that's about the most unfortunate thing that could ever happen to the opponent. That, yeah, it goes for the Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave nerf, yo. There it is, in effect. It's going hard. I wonder if he anticipated the switch or not, because Feraligatr could have switched out of that and still been just fine. And this is just going to be like the cleanest 6-0 sweep ever. We got a Focus Act, and then we got the Swords Dance. So I guess Swords Dance Aqua Jet, like, isn't enough to take down, and, like, yeah, I don't see what could go on. Also, that's an illegal name right there, naming a different Pokemon, or naming a Pokemon the name of a different Pokemon. I haven't ever seen anyone do that before, but did it for the Kabutops. Interesting. Guys, the Genesect revived fossil Kabutops augmentation genetic engineering. You know, we confirmed. So how much damage we do? Yeah, that's a resisted hit, guys. So much damage on that resisted hit. Going to throw out the Z move, though. So, like, Z Moonblast on that Primarina is going to be absurd amounts of damage. It looks like Feraligatr's reign will come to an end right here. There's no way it can survive, right? So, yeah, Twinkle Tackle comes through, playing around, boom, get wrecked, get sent flying, and the Feraligatr will go down. So that's going to be something right there. And then Tapu, what? Oh, that's a great... These names are OP. Oh my goodness. So Tapu Dele, because we got Dele, whoop. You know, we got that going in there. So Primarina survives it. Just unfortunately slightly not enough damage. And that will be the end of our... I'm okay. I'm honestly okay with... You see, guys, this is what we call good RNG. The RNG from the damage roll was not good enough, and that way we get to see more of these awesome names. So we get Cynthia on the... Dude, these names are pretty good. We get Cynthia on that Garchomp coming in. Earthquake onto the Primarina. That's going to be a KO right there. And electricity disappears. So there's, like, Charizard left. Ho-Oh. We're going to see what happens with Ho-Oh versus Garchomp. I mean, Garchomp just has the Rock Slide or the Stone Edge or something, and that's going to be bad unless Garchomp switches out because it is Scarfed, and then the Earthquake isn't going to do anything. So yeah, just safe, you know, bringing a Flying-type Pokemon as a response. Sunny Day now. Okay. boosting for that, and that's going to weaken the effectiveness of Lord Helix. Not as clever of a name, you know, that's pretty standard right there. Gets the Shell Smash, so still doubles damage, still has good amounts of outspeed right now. And the thing about the Amistar is that it can kind of be a mixed attack. Like, you can see it on the Hydro Pump, you can also see physical attacks as well. No burn from the Sacred Fire. The Sacred Fire gets tanked insanely, but it has Ancient Power on that special attack, and that's going to be wreckage right there. So yeah, Sun doesn't matter if you're not using water type moves. Charizard comes in, and Charizard, another Pokemon that just gets straight up wrecked, and it's, yeah, that's going to be the end of the battle right there. So you know what? Didn't we see this before? Like, there was an Ancient Power Amistar, and like that was all the battle submissions. Like, these are the times where I used Ancient Power, got stat boost, and then won the battle. I like it when people just like splash in Ancient Power, because like, well, I could do finishing. Like, it's kind of like a crazier Fell Stinger. That's like, oh, it does very small amounts of damage. If I KO the opponent, that means I have a 10% chance to just get free stats, and if it's a 4 times super effective move, because when you look at Talonflame, Charizard, Ho-Oh, Volcarona, a lot of things are 4 times weak to the rock. So yeah, you can just take the free hit and then maybe even boost out of that. So solid 6v6 team, solid battle, excellent names, and there we go. So guys, enjoyed Fan Fridays for the week. Guys, enjoy your day, enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend, have a great day. Everything else, just awesome like that. If you want to be on Fan Fridays, please comment down below a battle code that I can go and check out, and then we'll be good to go. So thank you very much for watching.